Hello guys, so in today's video I am going to be using the Louise Let the Queen Conquer palette. We've done the pink side, it's time to do the green side. So here is this side of the palette. Colour story is gorgeous, as I knew it would be. Before we get into the video, if you could like, subscribe, all that jazz really does help me out. I took a little break off of YouTube and it's kind of done me the dirty, like my views have gone right back down, but I needed some time off and really I should not be penalised for that surely. So if we can get those back up, that would be superb. I think that is enough waffling though, and we'll get into the tutorial. Watch the Queen Conquer palette by Louise. I've had a go with the pink side already. Today it's going to be with these shades. So first off, I'm going to prep my lid. Now I normally use the Louise base, but I've decided that I wanted to try something different. So I've gone in with the Revolution Ultimate Eye Base. It's not as thick as the Louise base, but it'll do. So that base is now on, and as you can see, I've gone under my brow, down the tail of my brow, right out to here, because I do bring out this eyeshadow out quite far. And it's a nice, good dollop of base just to completely blank out that lid. So the first colour that I'm going in with is this shade here called No Escape. And it's the darkest colour in the palette. It's a dark brown, and this is going in. I'm using a MO21 brush, Molly O'Brien brush, tiny blending brush, and all I'm doing is stamping that colour into that crease, and the actual crease of my eye, not taking it massively above or anything like that. It's going in the actual crease of my eye. So just going in and stamping that shape out first before I start any sort of blending. I want to make sure that this colour is really lovely and pigmented, and that will do for that. So now that that colour's down, I'm going to go around those edges with my brush and just make sure that all those edges are blended out. So we've got a lovely buffed edge for where that next colour can sit. So those colours look lovely and seamlessly blended together. So the next colour I'm going in with is this one up here called Tactical. And I'm taking this on a Louise 143, another small blending brush. All of these brushes are small blending brushes, all of them. Any sort of look with lots of blending, small blending brushes are the way forward. So bobbing this on that blurred edge. And I'm making sure that my pressure is really light. The bristles of my brush are not like going like this, where powder's flicking about and things like that. It's just the lightest touch to get that colour on and blend it in. And if you feel like you are using too much pressure with your brush, hold it farther down. This is a lot of pressure. This is much easier, and you can be much lighter handed. So again, going in and just blending those edges out. Next up, going in with the Louise 124 blending brush, and this shade here called Advantage. And you know the drill, going on that buffed edge. And as you can see, these shadows work really well together. They are really, really pigmented. And it's a really lovely group of shades that work well with each other. You don't have to be able to blend ridiculously well because the colours have been chosen to blend for you. And just making sure too that we're pulling this colour out far enough to the tail of your brow. Just like so. Next, on a Molly O'Brien M04 brush with this shade here called In Control, and keeping that same shape going around those outer edges. And buffing that colour in. And dragging that shadow out. Taking it right up to that brow bone as well. And just around about here. And then finally going in with the very last shade, which is this shade here, which is called Conquest. That's going right here. And there's nowhere for it to go up near that brow, which I'm fine with, because all we'll do is just drag it out here instead. And obviously my base will be done as well after this, so I don't want to spend too long on this because I will have to add some more anyway when I've put my base on. One thing that I am also doing here though is making sure and checking on that other eye to make sure that I've got that shape right. So I will keep going back and just doing a quick check, looking through to make sure that that shape and where all those colours are is matching the other eye. So I know that this is a bit of a boring bit, but I did want to show you how much blending I actually do, because sometimes I feel like people watch the videos and think, oh yeah, it only takes, you know, a 9-minute long video, it takes this time. It is not the case. So now that we're pretty much there with that, I am going to do this middle lid. I'm going to do the lid, so just making sure that the inner and outer corner of that lid is nice and dark with the dark brown, and then also with that darkest green tactical. And go there and there. Then with a flat packing brush, I'm going to go in with this shade here called Gambit, and that is going right down onto the middle of that lid. So swiping it on at first, and to just diffuse it out a bit, tapping as well. This gold shade here called Pursuit, taking that on my finger and running it down the middle of that lid, but also tapping it up to the brow bone. And if you go too far or anything like that, you can always brush off that shimmer if needs be. And then to really zhuzh it up, this shade here called Victory, that is going right down the centre, and then tapping it up again to that brow bone. So then we've got something like this going on. If you feel like you've taken the shimmer too far out, you can always just go in and brush it off. But then just do as you please, just getting the placement exactly where you'd like it. And with all that touching and pressing, it can feel like you've lost that darkest shimmer. So you can go back in with your brush for a bit more precision to add that back in. Now, if you want to do any sort of blending or re-intensifying those matte shades, you can. So I'm just making sure that this is nice and dark, so we've got a nice contrast going on. And then the last thing that I did to, again, add just a little bit more, I did like this little yellow liner moment. And all this was liner brush, the P. Louise coloured base in Yummy Yellow. And I just went on and drew on the liner. No wing or anything like that, literally just taking it straight across that lash line. Then all I did was take this yellow here called Stalemate and just use that shadow to set that liner in place. And that was literally just to add a little bit more something to the look. So now I'm going to jump off camera, do my base, probably for another video, and then I will see you at the end for the final look. So I was going to just, you know, escape and not do the lower lash line on camera, but I thought no, do the lower lash line on camera. So here I am. So I'm going to go in with the darkest green, the shade Tactical. And I'm going on my flat brush. This is a Buff and Blend and Emma Fleming collaboration. It's the 03. And that is going here on that lower lash line. And then I'm just going to blend that out with this shade here in Control. And then just to jazz up that bottom lash line, I'm going to go in with that gold shimmer, the shade Pursuit. And just put that in the middle of that lash line. Just there. And a little bit of Victory. That other the lightest shimmer that we used. Just to add a little bit of sparkle. So guys, this is the finished look. I went in and just bobbed a little bit of Victory, that lightest shimmer, in my inner corner for that inner corner highlight, and I think it is stunning. Honestly, this palette, if you don't have it, if you can get this on the TikTok shop for, I think it was £17 that I paid for it, if you can get it for that, 100% do. You need these shadows in your life. They just perform amazingly, and there's just so much colour variety in there. It's just chef's kiss. That is the end of today's video. If there's anything that you want to see, please do let me know, because of course I will do that for you. But that's it guys. Stay safe, stay well. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.